Hello everyone. I'm here to explain you about the execution of the code of hospital management system. In the starting of the code, we declare the header files which includes the standard libraries for input and output and string manipulations. Then we define some constant values for maximum patients and maximum appointment. For maximum patients, the constant value is 100 and for appointment it is 200. We know that then we declare the structure data type. We know that the structures group the related data together and make it easy to manage the complex data entities like patient and appointment. The patient structure is defined to store the individual information about the patient such as ID, name, age, gender, address, and diseases. And the appointment structure is defined to store the individual information about the patient, including the ID, patient ID, date, time, department, and doctor's name which the patient is going to visit. Here, the global arrays are declared patients and appointments. The arrays are declared because they provide straightforward way to store and access the elements using their index value. And the initial count of the patient and appointment will be 0. It will be incremented by 1 after adding new patient record and or new patient appointment in the system. The next, we know that the function user defined function has three components: the function prototype or function declaration, and the second one is function definition, and third is function call. Here are some function prototype used in this code, which are like add patient, list patients, add appointments, and list appointments. So these are declared as the void data type, which will return nothing, which means it return no value. So we know that every C program starts with the main function. In the main function, we have declared the variable choice of being data type, which asks the user to enter the choices between 1 to 5. These choices are provided by using the switch statements. If any case value is matched, then the corresponding function or the statement is being called and perform certain operations. If no case value is matched, then the default statement is going to be print. If, for example, if I enter my choice as 1, which is adding of a new patient into the system, then the case 1 is matched. Then it calls the add patient function and performs the adding of the new patient into the system. After adding a new patient in the system, it terminates the loop and come out of the loop. And and the control moves back to the main function and it checks the condition of while loop where the choice not equal to 5, which is true, 1 is not equal to 5, and it again enters the do while loop. And it again asks the user to enter the choices. This continues until the condition becomes false. If for example, if I enter my choice as 6, then it prints the default statement which is invalid choice and please enter the number from 1 to 5. If I enter my choice as 1, then add patient function is called. Here, this is the called function, this is the calling function. The- This is the function definition which contains the body of the function. Here the simple insertion algorithm is used for adding a new patient. So first it checks whether the num patient value is greater than max patient or not. We know that the max patient value is constant. We declared it as 100. If the num patient value exceeds 100, then it prints a message saying the maximum number of patients has reached, which means the system cannot take more patient in. It cannot record the more patient. If this condition is false, then the control moves to the next statement where it asks user for the patient information such as ID, name, age, gender, address, and disease. Here, each member of the structure patient is accessed by the dot operator. After adding after adding a new patient to the system, the the count of the new patient increments by 1. Initially, the new patient count was 0. Now I have added the new patient information into the system, the count becomes 1. And after performing this function, the control goes back to the main function, and again it asks the user to enter the choice between 1 to 5. Now, if I enter my choice as 2, it calls the list patient function, which this function displays all the patient record which are available in the system. If if the num patient value is 0, then no patient in the system. This condition is false, then the control moves to the next statements where it prints the list of patients. Then this algorithm iterates over the patient array and prints each and every detail of the patient. Here, this is the simple traversal algorithm is used. This for loop continuously repeats until this condition becomes false. Add appointment. If I enter my choice as 3, then this function is going to be called. In this function, before scheduling a new appointment, this algorithm checks the space availability in the appointment array. If there is no space in the appointment array, means if the num appointment value is greater than the max appointment, which is 200, we declared it in the definition section as 200. If it exceeds the 200, then the statement is going to be print. The maximum number of appointment has reached, which means the system cannot take more appointment. If this condition is false, the control moves to the next statements where it asks user for the appointment details such as patient ID, date, time, department, and doctor's name which the patient is going to visit. And it assigns a unique ID for every new appointment and store them in the appointment array. After adding new appointment, the new appointment value is going to be incremented from 0 to 1. After incrementing, it prints the appointment has added successfully with the ID number. After performing this function, the control moves back to the main function and it asks user to enter the choices. List appointments. If I enter my choice as 4, then this function is called. This function has return type as void, which means it returns nothing. The listing of appointment is done by the traversal algorithm. This algorithm iterates over the appointment array and prints each and every details of the appointment. First, it checks the condition. If num appointment double equal to 0, then it prints there are no appointment in the system. If there are appointments, then this condition becomes false and the control moves to the next statement where for loop iterates the body of the for loop continuously repeats until this condition becomes false. If this condition becomes false, then it comes out of the body of this for loop and the control moves to the main function where it checks this condition where 4 is not equal to 5, which is true, and again it enters this body of the loop. It asks the user, enter the choice. This repeats. This process repeats. Now let me show you the output of this program. Let me show you the output of the hospital management system. If I enter my choices once for adding a new patient, first I will choose the list of patients which are available in the system. I have to enter my choices. Here we got to know that there is no patient available in the system. So we have to add a new patient to the system. For adding a new patient, we have to enter our choices one. It asks the patient's name, age, gender, address, diagnosed with chest pain. We can see a patient added successfully with the ID as 1. Initially, the count of patient is 0. After adding a new patient into the system, the patient count has incremented by the 1. If I display the list of patients which are available in the system, I will enter my choices 2. Then it will display the list of patients which is available in system in this form. Now, if I want to list out all the appointments in the system, I will enter my choices 4. It displays a message. There is no appointment in the system. So that I have to add a new appointment in the system. For adding a new appointment in the system, I will enter my choices 3. It asks for the ID of the patient. 3 date, time, 3:30. Department, dermatology. Now we can see the appointment added successfully with the ID. So that down the initial appointment count was 0, and after adding a new appointment, it has increased. It has incremented by the 1. Now if I list all the appointment which is present in the system, it will display in this form: the date, time, department, and the doctor's name. If I enter my choice as 8, then it will display the default message: invalid choice, please enter the number from 1 to 5. If I want to exit this program, I will enter choice as 5. Even this code has its own limitations, such as the use of static array, the number of patients and appointments that can be managed. For more scalable solution, we can use the dynamic structures like linked list or dynamic arrays by using pointers. The second point is the data is stored in memory only. To make the system more practical, we can add the file handling operation to save and load the patients and appointment data from the files. We can write in the files, we can read the files, we can append the files. The third point will be the implementation of this code. It lacks strong validation, data validation, such as, for example, for checking the valid IDs, ensuring each patient has unique names, validating time and date formats, etc. By this validation, it would improve the code reliability. Thank you.